Hello everyone and welcome inside the UCCU ballpark as the 9th seeded Orem Tigers are set to take on the 22 seed, the Maple Mountain Golden Eagles. In day 2 of bracket play here at Utah Valley University, this will be our second elimination game of the afternoon, and it should be a fun one. I'm JT Wistersill, excited to be with you as we're set to get today's matchup underway in a mere matter of moments. The winner of this game will go on to play the loser of tonight's Lehigh Bountiful game. That one's scheduled for 7. If you're wondering why this game is now starting at 3:14 instead of its original 1:30 start time, well, our game before that featured the 3-seeded Jordan Beat Diggers and 12-seeded Salem Hills Skyhawks was the absolute wild game where the Salem Hills ended up winning in extra innings. They won in 14-12 in the bottom of the 10th. They secured that win. And with the Golden Eagles set to be at the bats, let's go through their batting order. First, Mike Bennett will be leading off, followed by Jackson Hollingshouse. Dax DeWitt will bat third. Bennett Averett will bat cleanup. Cooper Siemens will bat fifth. Caleb Chandler will bat sixth. Sawyer Leeson will bat seventh. Batting 8th will be Cooper Rollins, and batting 9th will be Corbin Bailey. Easton Davies gets the start on the mound for the Tigers. He's set to deliver the 0-1 pitch. Back-to-back balls delivered. Or excuse me, back-to-back strikes. That's what I get for multitasking. So Davies starts hungry with the strikeout. He gets it. Makes quick work of Bennett. That'll bring up Jackson Hollinghouse, who will be the starting pitcher for Maple Mountain. In the field for the Tigers, Sawyer Slade at the catcher spot. Cohen Strickland at first. At second will be Cooper Bishop. At third, Cam Humphreys. Maddox Lamorex at shortstop. Alex Hansen in left field, Ali Takashi in center field, and Luke Kimmel in right. 5 straight strikes to start the day for Easton Davies, who's locked in. First ball delivered just to the outside as the Tigers come out hungry. The Tigers find themselves in the loser bracket after being upset by Bountiful, 8-5. Popped. Back on it in foul territory, making the grab and nearly falling over was Cohen Strickland. So 2 outs very quickly. As for Maple Mountain, they landed here after falling to Lehigh 10-0. Maple Mountain was the 22 seed, so to even be in this position as far as they are in the bracket is a great job accomplished by Coach Jeremy Thomas and his squad. As Dax DeWitt goes 1-1 in the count. I mentioned Maple Mountain. The reason they got here in the play-in round, they won 12-4 over Provo. Then against Murray, they were able to get the upset as well. And then facing off against Spanish Fork in what seemed like too much to overcome. As top-ranked Spanish Fork looked to be an intimidating test for them. They were still able to win it. That series went 3 games. But Maple Mountain able to get the monumental upset. And after falling to Lehigh, they now land here. First walk of the day as DeWitt heads to first. Bennett Averett now due up. Davies already 1 strikeout on the day. As Averett fouls it off. For Orem, they land in this matchup after defeating Box Elder, the 24 seed in 2 games. in the following round, the reseeded regionals, or excuse me, super regionals, as it's officially titled. Orem would upset Timpanogos to advance, where they fell to Bountiful, landing in this spot. 1-2 the count. Averett goes down swinging. What a start for Easton Davies. 2 strikeouts. Also got Hollingshouse to pop out. So through 4 batters faced, gives up no runs, no hits, no errors, and only 1 stranded. That one in Dewitt. So we'll turn things over and see if the Tigers can keep their hot start going. To do that, we'll look at the batting order for Orem, where it'll be Luke Kimmel leading off, followed by Cam Humphreys batting second. Sawyer Slade will bat in the 3rd spot. Cohen Strickland in the 4th. Alex Hansen in the 5th. Owen Miller, the designated hitter, will bat 6th. Easton Davies, the pitcher, will follow him in the 7th hole. Maddox Lamorex, the shortstop, will bat 8th, with Ollie Takashi batting 9th. Looking at the field for Maple Mountain, Dax Dewitt at the catcher spot. Cooper Siemens at first. Mike Bennett at second. Cooper Rollins at third. Corbin Bailey at shortstop. Caleb Chandler at left field. Sawyer Leafson in center field. And Bennett Averett in right field, with Jackson Hollingshouse on the mound. As the bottom of the first will get underway shortly. Orem looking to keep their season going. In order to do so, they'll have to get the bats hot, as Maple Mountain will be looking to make sure this game remains at 0. Mentioned the late start to this game because of our phenomenal previous game. If you're hoping after this game for the winner to see when the next one will get underway. The Lehigh Bountiful one that has the most implications, that one is scheduled for 7. We'll see if the 7 o'clock start time is able to hold its position. With Wasatch Olympus, our game following this one, Wasatch the 13th seed, Olympus the 4. That game's 4:30 start time, very much in doubt based on our previous game's length. So Luke Kimmel, the starting pitcher yesterday, right fielder today. That's the outside pitch pass for ball 1. Jackson's Hollingshouse is on the mound for Maple Mountain. Has started off with 3 straight balls. See if he can find the strike zone versus Kimmel. He cannot. In fact, he hits Kimmel. Kimmel takes it off the knee as he jogs over to first. So Cameron Humphreys, the 3rd baseman, now comes up. This is an Orem team that comes into this contest today 21-10 on the season. They were 11-7 in Region 8 play. Longest winning streak of the season was 11. That stretched from mid-April to late April. For Orem, they lost just 2 of the 3 games they played to Jordan, then versus Timpanogos. They lost all 3 for a rough stretch, but got back on track versus Box Elder. 1-2 versus Timpanogos. Mentioned the loss last night to Bountiful. To land them in this spot today. 0-1 the count after the bunt was sent foul. Pickoff attempt to first, unsuccessful. We did see that work in our previous game in a very decisive late moment. We had a runner on first late. And it was Salem Hills who was able to get the tag on the Beat Diggers runner. Bunt attempt once again. Not a go. So 0-2 the count. Kimmel settled on first. It's a Maple Mountain team that comes in today 16-17, 6-9. But the fact that they're even close to 500, or were even at it yesterday, is a testament to the incredible postseason run that we highlighted that this group of young men is on. Maple Mountain led by Coach Jeremy Thomas, Orem, head coach Carl Hermanson. 0-2 the count. Fourth ball fouled off of the at-bat by Humphreys, who's fighting to stay alive. First high delivery is a go to Humphreys. 1-2 the count now. Pickoff attempt unsuccessful, but closer on at that time was Jackson Hollingshouse, who looked over to Cooper Siemens on first. Humphreys ready for it. Another outside, count will even at 2-2. This is an Orem's team that would like a faster start, as they didn't score their first runs in yesterday's game versus Bountiful until the bottom of the fifth. In the fifth and the sixth was where the team scored all their runs, 5 in total, as they fell 8-5 to Bountiful. They gave up 5 runs in the top of the first, as they were the home team, as Bountiful was a 10th seed, Orem the 9th. Kimmel was going for second. Instead, he'll head back off another fouled off from Humphreys. Over 8 pitches deep into the at-bat now for number 8. Humphreys takes that pitch off the shoulder, so through 2 batters, Jackson Hollingshouse has hit both batters. So Sawyer Slade will now come out. Still no outs in the inning, as Hollingshouse looks to right the ship. This is a Maple Mountain team that just had struggle figuring out Jackson Brousseau on the mound yesterday. He only allowed 2 hits and struck out 5 Golden Eagles batters in a contest that went 4.5 innings because of the 10-0 advantage. Maple Mountain will also look for a stronger start after they gave up 3 runs, at least 3 runs, in each of the first 3 innings of yesterday's game. Slade bites on the first pitch. He awaits another delivery from Hollingshouse. Checks behind, pickoff attempt. Was nearly successful as Kimmel was almost caught. That was Corbin Bailey who snuck behind him as Hollingshouse flipped around. Still 0-1 the count. To the count goes after the delivery from Hollingshouse. Looking to strike out his first batter of the day in Slade. Slade We'll let the outside pitch pass. So Maple Mountain, the 22 seed, taking on the 9th seeded Orem Tigers. Currently 2 runners on in Kimmel and Humphreys, both of which were hit by pitches. This one's popped up, looks to be playable for Siemens. Who will make the... He was unable to make the grab. He looked to have had it, but as he went to lower his glove, the ball squeaked out. So, Sawyer Slade lives to fight on. And are still 1-2 count. One to the count. Hollingshouse delivers. Short chopper, chance for a double play. It's flipped up to Bailey, gets it over to first. Not in enough time. As Slade is safe. So it was Mike Bennett who fielded it from second. He tapped second as well and flipped it to Bailey. So Humphreys was retired. Sawyer Slade to first. Luke Kimmel goes to second. With Cohen Strickland, the first baseman, now due up. Just 1 out in the inning. Kimmel on third. Slade on first. As Orem rocks the powder blue unis today. Maple Mountain goes with the black. Be interesting to see if they opt to send Slade to second. If Slade was to go for second. And Dax Dewitt from his catcher spot decided to try the pickoff. Could very well allow Kimmel to score. See if that's the decision Coach Hermanson wants to make. Two-0 the count with 1 out. Strickland awaits the pitch. As we'll have time called from behind the mound, from behind the plate. Pickoff attempt to first, unsuccessful as they went after Slade. Hollingshouse delivers the first strike to Strickland. Maple Mountain made it 4 batters deep into their order. With 1 out, the Tigers currently there as the continuing pickoff attempts ensue for Hollingshouse. Strickland fouls it off. I believe that'll bring our count to 2-2. As it will, there was some confusion on the scoreboard here at UCCU Ballpark. That's now sorted out. Hollingshouse looking for his first strikeout on the day. Hit 2 batters early. Slade going for second. Looks to have him. Instead, it's a low throw. So Kimmel wisely stayed, as he could tell the throw was not going to make it to second. Might have been a well-planned attack by Maple Mountain as well, with Bennett stepping up and not even worrying about Slade as he approached second. He was more so focused about Kimmel going for home. So full count. Going down swinging is Strickland. First strikeout of the day for Jackson Hollingshouse. Second out of the inning. 2 runners on base, both in scoring position. Can have a pinch runner go to second. Zach Eneman going to second. Kimmel remaining on third. With Alex Hansen, the left fielder, now due up. Ball delivered well to the outside by Hollingshouse. Fresh off his first strikeout. Beautiful day for baseball here at UCCU Ballpark. Ball's fouled off, bringing our count to 1-1. Weather currently here in Orem. Sunny, not very cloudy. Our upper 60-degree day. 2-1, the count shifts. Hansen was nearly hit by that one. In fact, he was. That's the third hit batter we've had already by Jackson Hollingshouse. He struggled with control a little bit on the mound early, so bases now loaded with the designated hitter, Owen Miller, now due up. Miller. That's the inside ball pass. Hollingshouse in danger of walking in a run. Back-to-back balls delivered. Kimmel on third. Niemann on second, with Hansen on first. 2-1, the count moves. Hollingshouse sails in a strike. 1 strike away from getting his team out of the inning and leaving 3 Tigers stranded on. Miller will look to bring in some runs. He waits for the delivery. And apparently that one hit him in the elbow. Hollingshouse trying to argue, saying that Miller turned into it, but those protests will not work, and that's going to bring out Coach Jeremy Thomas, who agrees with his pitcher. So we are now 6 batters into Orem's order, and that is 4. We've been hit by a pitch already. Walks in the first run of the day, with Kimmel able to score with ease. That means the pinch runner for Sawyer Slade. And Eneman now moves to third. With Hansen on second. Miller to first. As our 3 umpires continue to discuss. You almost never see a call like this overturned, but the length of this discussion, meaning there's at least a chance. That Coach Thomas and his squad, their appeal may be heard and corrected. A due-up at the moment will be Easton Davies, the pitcher. Davies on the season has brought in 13 runs. Have a great chance to add to that total here. The longer these things usually go, the more often the decision is changed. So I guess we'll see if our three umpires come together and decide to turn things around. As we sit here in the bottom of the first with 2 outs. Coach Hermanson. And now discuss it with him. May very well be leaning towards changing their decision. Saying that Siemens was hit in the elbow. Animated discussion ensuing between the pair. It looks like Coach Hermanson is going to lose this one, as his body language kind of dipped the head for a second. And I think we very well may see, and we will. So Owen Miller is forced to go back. So no runs on the board. That lengthy discussion. So Kimmel back to third. Eneman back to second. With Hansen on first. Count, I believe, still at 2-2. Or it looks like it was 3-2. So full count with 2 outs and 3 runners on. Owen Miller was safe for a moment, and there is another complaint. So we have now had a stoppage over 5 minutes as our game is completely ground to a halt. But that one thankfully wasn't long, as Coach Hermanson heads back to third. Full count. Hollingshouse sets. Miller. That's the outside pitch pass. So after all that, the result remains unchanged. Owen Miller instead gets the first walk on Hollingshouse. And now Easton Davies is ready to go. So 1-0, the Tigers lead. Davies takes a hack, gets nothing. Bases are still loaded. Davies chops one foul, so he'll fall to 0-2 in the count. Going to see Dewitt come up and talk with Hollingshouse about how they want to play this. Davies awaits a delivery from his pitcher, Hollingshouse, and he gets him. 3 straight strikes delivered by Hollingshouse, who gets his second strikeout through 7 batters of the Tigers' batting order. But 1 run scores, giving them the early 1-0 lead as we move into the second inning. You're watching KSL Game Night Live Rewind. Tigers lead 1-0 as we move into the second. It was 4 up and down for the Golden Eagles. So do it for them now will be Cooper Siemens, Caleb Chandler, and Sawyer Leifson. Siemens. That's the first strike pass. Siemens on the season, batting .230. 74 at-bats, has 17 hits and 11 runs scored. He'll send the first base hit of the day into left field as it takes a nice shallow bounce. So a single for Siemens as he sits on first. With Caleb Chandler now due up. Chandler batting .284 on the season. The left fielder, 88 at-bats, 25 hits, 15 runs. He's brought in 7 on the season as well. Bunt. Sails foul. Oh, 1 the count. Chandler shows bunt, pulls back, swings, gets nothing, falls to 0-2. Davies was able to get a strikeout to end the top of the first. Can he secure his first of the second here? We'll wait and see off the foul. That one hit the inside of the bat of Chandler. Reaching and missing is Chandler. He's retired. The third strikeout of the game for Davies, who through 6 batters has 3 strikeouts. He's now due up to say Sora Leifson. Leifson batting .304. 23 at-bats, 7 hits on the season, 9 runs. Driven in 9 runs as well. Leifson. That's the high delivery pass. So 1 out, 1 runner on first. That runner, Siemens, with Leifson fouling that one off his bat as our count goes to 2-1. Davies looking to get back in the count. He'll do just that, the 2-2 count. Davies waits for Leifson to be set. Nearly struck him out. Could see the frustration, or most so, are you serious expression from Easton Davies on the mound as he disagrees. Full count pitch now coming up. As it's fouled off by Leifson to stay alive. Second consecutive ball fouled off by Leifson. Sawyer Slade will make his way out from the catcher spot to talk things over with Davies. Leifson delivers the strikeout. Davies retires Leifson. The second straight batter he struck out. He has 4 strikeouts now through 7 batters face. As Leifson goes down watching. That brings up Cooper Rollins, the third baseman. Rollins batting .200, 75 at-bats, 15 hits with 9 runs. 0-2 the count. Rollins awaits it. Another inside pitch. Count to 3-0. Davies in danger of walking his first run of the game. First strike is delivered. Not surprised to see Rollins opt to let it pass. Davies will try to fight back in the count with this pitch. Delivers another strike. So 5 pitches in. Rollins yet to swing at one yet. He now sits at full count. Davies looking for 3 straight strikeouts to get his team out of it. He'll do it. Easton Davies, wow. He has been lights out. Tiger takeover on the mound. That's 3 straight strikeouts, his 5th of the game through 8 batters faced. We turn things over. Maple Mountain will look to limit the Tigers to no runs at UCCU Ballpark. Jackson Hollingshouse. Last time we saw him on the mound, he got the strikeout versus his fellow pitcher, Easton Davies. Davies struck out in his only plate appearance on the day, but man, he already has 5 strikeouts, and he's not even all the way through the batting order of the Tigers. Maddox Lamorix now due up. Outside delivery. One-0 the count. Now 1-1 after the hack by Lamorix. Hollingshouse winds, delivers. Pitch fouled off. So it'll be Lamorix, followed by Ollie Takashi. Then we'll turn things back over to Luke Kimmel and the rest of the top of the Tigers batting order as they take on the Golden Eagles here in our second game of the day at UCCU Ballpark. So second consecutive strikeout for Hollingshouse as he retires Lamorix. Bringing up Ollie Takashi. Takashi grounds it directly to Bennett, who fields it and retires him at first. That'll bring up Luke Kimmel. Last time we saw Kimmel, he was hit by a pitch. Kimmel has 5 home runs on the season, 2 triples, 2 doubles. He's brought in 17 runs. Kimmel in yesterday's game had 3 at-bats. Scored 1 run, brought in a run as well, and struck out in his 2 plate appearances. This ball fielded by Siemens, who gets it over to Hollingshouse, who closes in on first, taps the bag, and gets the Tigers out of the inning, retiring them. So Maple Mountain will be back at the bats as our second inning is over nearly as quickly as it began. We move into the third. You're watching KSL Game Night Live Rewind.
College wasn't built for me.
It didn't care if I had to work a double shift.
Or if my kid had a fever.
Deadline's a deadline.
I want to set the deadlines.
I want to take tests when I'm ready.
I want to take courses on my time.
And speed up when I know my stuff.
I want a university that cares about me.
Tests on your time, courses on your time, graduate on your time. WGU, the nonprofit university of you.
2 innings in the books at UCCU Ballpark here at Utah Valley University. Your home for 5A bracket play. While we have a moment Want to remind you of some of the other action we have coming up the rest of the night. First, in a time scheduled for 4:30, that will most definitely be moved based on the results of this game. But immediately following this game will be the 4th seeded Olympus Titans taking on the 13th seeded Wasatch Wasps. Then Lehigh will take on Bountiful, our 2 versus 10 matchup. That's slated for 7 p.m. tonight. Also, more than likely will be moved. Bailey grounds it over to Comfries, who can't get it to first in time. Oh, it was actually fouled, so we'll do it all again. Waited as long as it possibly could for the ball to finally sail into foul territory. What an extension by Cohen Strickland on first. So 0-2 the count after that one fouled off by Corbin Bailey. The shortstop awaits a delivery from Davies. And he swings. He'll be retired. So we have had 6 batters retired via the strikeout from Davies through 9 faced. What an early performance. Tigers defense dominant here in the early going. Mike Bennett now due up. Bennett will take a hack and get nothing. Bennett batting .317, 33 hits. He hits this one off the ankle of Davies. Is Davies shaken up for a moment? Could hit the calf ankle area, and Davies going to go down after taking that ball. We're going to step away while they look at Davies for a moment. Davies is back up. Threw a couple pitchers to make sure he's okay. We'll remain in the game with 1 out. So 1 out in the inning with Hollingshouse due up. Bennett goes to first. His pitch was the one that drilled the lower leg of Davies. One. As another outside ball is delivered. For Hollingshouse, he's batting .321 on the season. 84 at-bats, 27 hits, 26 runs scored. Brought in 15 as well. He'll bite on that pitch to fall to 2-2. Hollingshouse popped out into foul territory to Strickland the last time we saw him. Looked to turn his luck around as Davies has been dominant here early. Outside pitch, high delivery. As they can't get the tag inside. Bennett able to successfully reach second off the steal. Sawyer Slade's going to go out to the mound, talk things over with Davies. Full count pitch to the outside. So it's a walk for Hollingshouse. The second given up on the day by Davies. His first one was given up to Dex Dewitt, who's due up right now. So 2 runners on base, 1 out in the top of the third. Dewitt Takes a hack at the first one, gets nothing. Do it on the season for the senior, batting .386, 101 at-bats. He has 39 hits. Just 9 runs scored, a strange ratio. Falls to 0-2 in the count. In danger of being Davies' first strikeout the second time around the batting order. Would be the 8th of the game. Do it. Grounds it. And that'll squeeze through. It's going to bring in the tying run for Maple Mountain. Big time base hit from Dewitt. He smacked it up the gut. Grounder breaks through, equaling a 1-1 game in the top of the third. So Bennett Averett now due up. Averett struck out in his previous plate appearance. That strikeout ended the first inning. Averett, once again, has a strike tallied against him. Averett fouls this one back. Averett on the season. Batting .255. 94 at-bats, 24 hits, and 10 runs. That ball completely escaped Sawyer Slade as he had no idea where it was as it bounced off him. One, two, the count. This one's lifted in a second. Making the grab on it was Alex Hansen. Cooper Siemens now due up. Last time we saw Siemens, drove one into left field. Allowed him to reach first. Fouls this one back. 2 outs now for the Tigers in the inning. Davies delivers a ball to even the count at 1-1. The Orem faithful groans as they disagree with it. 2 outs in the inning. The first one was the Corbin Bailey strikeout. The second, when Averett threw up. Count now at 2-1. Siemens. Sawyer Slade got caught watching. As it was Mike Bennett, who had already started to steal from second to third. Slade had his eye on Bennett as he ran. So the ball squeezed past him. 3-1 the count. Davies had such a strong start. Now in danger of loading the bases. And he'll do just that 4-1, the final of that count. Seems the third walk of the game. That'll bring up Caleb Chandler. Chandler struck out in his last plate appearance. Chandler batting .284 on the season. 25 hits, 15 runs scored, and 88 at-bats. One and one the count. 2 outs. Chandler struck out in his 2 plate appearances yesterday. Pickoff attempt at first. So the attempt to pick off to third unsuccessful. 2-1 the count. Another high delivery brings the count to 3-1. Davies now in danger. Of walking what would be the leading run. Instead, he brings it to full count with the heater. Full count, Cooper Chandler trying to avoid being the first Golden Eagle to strike out in 2 consecutive pitches. Chandler. It's popped over everyone's heads into foul territory. So 2 outs, full count. Chandler looking to reach the base for the first time in 5A bracket play. He'll do it. He gets the walk. Davies walks in the leading run. So Dax Dewitt crosses home. Or excuse me, it was actually Dewitt's pinch runner who crossed home for him. It looked to be. Got to see a quick meeting on the mound take place as Coach Hermanson makes his way over to talk things. Base is still loaded with 2 outs. There are bodies in the bullpen for the Tigers that start to now take position, as they may very well begin warming up here. In our 2-1 game, Maple Mountain pulling ahead. Due up now is Sora Leifson. Davies was so strong through the first 2 innings. He's walked his last 2 batters. He's walked 3 in total. He's been shaken up ever since he took that ball from Bennett off the leg. Another outside delivery. Brings the count to 2-0. Davies delivers his 3rd straight ball. Frustration maybe setting in for Davies. Can he get right? Or will he walk Leifson, who he struck out just a batter ago? Instead, he walks in another run. Maple Mountain now leading 3-1. Cooper Rollins, the 3rd baseman, now due up after Davies has walked his past 3 batters. Tigers just need one more out to get out of it, but have given up 3 runs now in the top of the third, 2 of them off of the walk. First run was brought in by Dewitt's grounder, and he drilled right up the middle. Davies got back on track with the strike, so now 2-1 our count. Off that ball, it'll go to 3-1. Rollins. That's another outside pitch pass. And that's another walked-in run. So 4-1 our game now. Coach Hermanson letting our home plate umpire, Dale Rogers, know that he disagreed with that call. So Corbin Bailey due back up. Bailey struck out the last time he was up. That was the first out of the inning. Since then, it's been a strong one. This looks to be the pitch that ended it as it was popped up and secured by Cohen Strickland. So 3 runs walked in, 1 drove in by Dak Stewart. Lead to a 4-1 game as the Eagles, Golden Eagles, take command over the Tigers here at UCC Ballpark. Bottom of the third coming up in just a moment. Orm's offense has struggled recently. They currently trail 1-4. That lone run was walked in by Jackson Hollingshouse. Cam Humphreys due back up. Was hit by a pitch the last time we saw him. Sawyer Slade on deck with Cohen Strickland in the hole. This is an Orem team that hasn't scored 11 runs back since May 6th. So nearly 20 days since they've had over 10 runs. They haven't scored more than 10 runs in a win since April 20th, so over a month ago when they won 14-4 over Timpview. Their recent games they've won have been defensive struggles. 3-0 the count. Humphreys lets the first strike pass. Inside pitch, a ball. A frustrated Jackson Hollingshouse disagreed with the decision. Sawyer Slade returns. Last time we saw Slade, he was able to make it safely to first himself, but hit it directly to second where Humphreys was retired. All turned around was Dewitt, but eventually he gets the ball. Humphreys opted not to go. This is an Orem team that had 4 hits in their game versus Bountiful. Only have 1 so far today. That coming courtesy of Takashi. Or excuse me, that one was the one by Slade. This outside pitch gets away. Humphreys going for second and will make it. As the pickoff attempt wasn't even tried. 2-1 the count. Hollingshouse. Count goes to 2-2. No outs in the inning. Can Maple Mountain find their first here? Not on the outside delivery, as was actually full count. So back-to-back walks from Hollingshouse. Brings up Cohen Strickland. Strickland struck out in his first plate appearance. In 4 at-bats yesterday, he had 1 hit that brought in 2 runs versus Bountiful. This one launched into left field. He'll take a bounce and load the bases up for the Tigers with no outs. Big time base hit from Strickland. So that'll bring up Alex Hansen, who was hit by a pitch the last time we saw him. Hansen, 4 at-bats. In yesterday's game, he struck out 3 times. Put the ball in play just once, where he was retired. Hansen. A lot of protesting from the Maple Mountain faithful as they disagree with the strike zone being called by our head umpire, Dale Rogers. Both sides have now had moans and groans about it. Full count, 1-0. That'll go to 1-1, or 2-0, excuse me. 3 runners on base. See Coach Thomas come out. Talk things over with Hollingshouse. No one warming up in the pen for the Golden Eagles, so he will remain in the game. There was a brief meeting as Hansen's now due up. Hansen ahead in the count, 2-0. Great opportunity to bring in some walked runs here. Hollingshouse delivers a pitch that's short chopped. Get the force out at home. So they prevent the run from being scored. Retiring Humphreys. Bases remain loaded. But a much needed first out for the Golden Eagles. Owen Miller, the lefty, now due up. Last time we saw Miller, he walked originally. He was hit by the pitch, but after that lengthy discussion, he was pulled back. This one boomed. It'll drop. Nearly over, but instead it still stays fair. That's going to bring in not 1, but 2 runs for the Tigers. How about the DH Owen Miller with the big-time double? That makes it a 3-4 game. Easton Davies returns. Last time we saw Davies, he struck out swinging. Still just one out in the inning. Davies bites on the pitch, getting nothing. Count goes to 0-1. Reaching and getting nothing is Davies, who now falls to 0-2 in the count, trying to avoid being the first player for either side to struck out in both his plate appearances on the day. Davies in yesterday's game had 2 strikeouts, in danger of getting 2 in this game as well. Fouls it off to stay alive. Pitcher-on-pitcher battle. And the first ball delivered. That one sails well to the outside. Davies. Another sails well to the outside as Hollingshouse has brought Davies back in the count 2-2 with pitches not even close to the zone. Hollingshouse delivers it low. It looks like our scoreboard here at UCCU Ballpark. So it's the scoreboard actually was correct. I think it was just Davies who thought that. So that pitch made it 3-2. The count was 2-2. Davies just assumed it was a walk and kind of went for it. Guess he just got out of order. So we'll do the 3-2 pitch again. Right after Davies puts back on the batting gloves and gives home plate a tap. Hollingshouse looking for his first strikeout of the inning. Instead, he'll hit Davies. It's the 4th batter now hit by a pitch for Hollingshouse. So bases currently loaded. 2 runs already scored. Looks like we are going to have a pitching change. There was no one even warming up in the bullpen, so Mike Bennett going to take over on the mound for the Golden Eagles. And a move that sends Jackson Hollingshouse out to the outfield. And moves Cooper Rollins now to second. So Rollins at second. So Maddox Lamorex with just 1 out in the inning. And the base is loaded. Due up to face Bennett. Bennett was not warming up in the bullpen and was originally just at second. So he'll take over on the mound, a limited warm-up time, and try to get his team out of the difficult position. Ball sails high into foul territory. 1-1 the count. And a combined 6 runs scored in our third inning so far. Another outside delivery makes it a 2-1 count. Maddox Lamorix in yesterday's game struck out once in 3 plate appearances. Two the count. And it'll try and secure the second strikeout of Lamorix on the day. It would be his first. Full count. Bennett sets, delivers. Another that's fouled off. Lamorix awaits it. He'll walk to first. He's fired up about it. As a run is walked in for the Tigers, that ties things up at 4. Ollie Takashi returns after grounding out to Mike Bennett when he was at second. Still just 1 out in the inning. Takashi. Let's strike 1 pass. Grounder sent into the dugout of the Tigers. 1-2 the count. Takashi had 1 hit and brought in a run in yesterday's action. Also struck out. We'll see what we can do with this pitch. Two-two pitch, 3 runners on. Takashi. This one takes a bounce. The force out at home unsuccessful, as Dewitt was too far off home plate. That allows the Tigers to take the lead. That one sent to Rollins on the grounder. Rollins thought to get it to Dewitt, but it was an outside throw, forcing him off the bag. As Takashi able to reach base and bring in a run. Luke Kimmel back up. Kimmel was hit by a pitch in his first plate appearance. Then Kimmel had the grounder that Siemens dived for, and then he lost in the foot race to Hollingshouse, who tapped first base to retire. Yesterday's starting pitcher for the Tigers. Bases remain loaded. Each team has now scored 4 runs in our third inning. Outside delivery takes the count to 2-1. Kimmel. Ball 3 delivered from Bennett, who's still looking for his first out. He's given up a hit and a walk, in danger of walking in Kimmel, and another run for Orem. So Kimmel will head to first, walking another run, and now our 6-4 game. Going to bring out Coach Thomas, as he'll talk things over with his infield. Looks like Bennett is going to be off the mound, as Maple Mountain will once again shift defensively. We'll step away. You're watching KSL Game Night Live Rewind. Back inside UCCU ballpark, where Cooper Rollins now takes over on the mound. Sawyer Leifson now at third. Humphreys now due up. Jackson Hollinghouse now in center field. This grounder fielded by Leifson, gets it over to first for a second out. It brings in another run for the Tigers. Sawyer Slade now due up after Humphreys was retired off the grounder. That's 6 runs now scored for Orem in the inning, giving them a 7-4 lead. One the count after the hack by Slade. Slade's day at a glance, a walk, and he made it to first on a base hit for himself. That retired his teammate. Had just 5 combined hits, but 11 combined runs in this one. Maple Mountain, and with Rollins taking over on the mound, is already on their 3rd pitcher in just 4 innings played. And we're not even completely through 4. 3 and 2 innings in. Tigers with 2 runners still on. And a high delivery that'll even the count. Slade swings. He gets nothing. That's a strikeout. First of the game for Cooper Rollins, who came in and made sure his team could leave 2 stranded on, but not before they gave up 6 runs. We'll see what Maple Mountain can do at the bats as they now trail 7-4 at UVU. goes. We enter the fourth of our matchup that features the 9th-ranked Orem Tigers taking on the 22nd-ranked Maple Mountain Golden Eagles. So we move into the top of the fourth. There was a combined 10 runs scored in our third inning. Mike Bennett will lead us off. Bennett in 3 at-bats. In yesterday's game, failed to reach base. He looked to turn around his afternoon. Last time he was up, his pitch was the one that hit the lower leg of Easton Davies. That allowed him to reach first. He'll foul this one off to fall to 1-2 in the count. Two-two count, Davies. This one's sent into center field. Will take a bounce before it's played by Takashi. Two-two the count. Hollingshouse returns after the base hit from Bennett. That ball sails well past the head of everyone as Bennett now moves to second. One-0 pitch set to be delivered to Hollingshouse, who's reached base in his last at-bat via the walk. A reminder, the winner of this game will advance. The loser will be sent home as this one is sent into center field. Tagging up is Bennett, who will make it to third. Dax Dewitt now due up. He drove in the first run of the game. Back in the fourth inning for the Golden Eagles. Dax had a walk in his first at-bat. Only a single. His previous hit, but we mentioned, did drive in a run. One-0 the count. This one, a leaping catch made spectacularly by Lamorix, who was playing over from his shortstop spot. And a phenomenal play made by Lamorix. Bennett Averett now due up. Averett struck out in his first plate appearance, then drove out into left field on a fly ball. 2 outs now. One the count. As Davies wastes no time. Delivering another. This one fouled over everyone's heads onto the roof of our ballpark here at UCCU. Averett, 1-2 the count. Now 2-2 off the outside pitch. And Avra goes down swinging. Another strikeout on the day for Davies. So he gets his team out of the top of the fourth, giving up no runs, a lone hit, and leaves one stranded on. Tigers still in command as we head to the bottom of the fourth. Back inside UCCU ballpark. Cohen Strickland, Alex Hansen, and Owen Miller all due up in the order for the Tigers as they look to extend their 7-4 lead. Scored 6 runs in the bottom of the third. Cooper Rollins remains on the mound for Coach Thomas's squad. High flyer send up. Will it be playable? He'll drift back into fair territory. Making the great catch was Caleb Chandler out in left field, who tracked it all the way for the first out of the inning. Bring up Hansen, who had a bunt that helped. A bunt that retired with the potentially first scoring run of the sixth. So the force out at home, but he was able to make it to first. And he was hit by a pitch a time before that. Rollins on the season, 3.78 the ERA, and 0-2 record in 7 appearances. He's pitched 16 in 2 innings, Rollins has. Allowed 18 hits, 15 runs, 9 earned runs, 13 walks, and 16 strikeouts. Credit to him through 84 batters faced. Breaking ball, bring the count to 2-2. The count. That one nearly hit. Hansen would have been the second time today he's been hit by a pitch. Instead he'll set back in. 3-2 the count. Rollins. Ball's fouled off by Hansen. Will stay at full count. If you're tuning in now, curious as to why the Wasatch Olympus game scheduled for 4:30 hasn't started. Our previous game before this went long. This one looking like it'll go the distance as well. Full count pitch is once again fouled off. Rollins gets the strikeout, his second since being inserted. 2 outs now in the inning. Bring up to DH, Owen Miller. Miller had a huge hit last time he was up that brought in 2 runs for his team. Miller currently heading the count. Had a walk in his first at-bat. That was the weird sequence we had where they originally said he was hit by a pitch. Then after a long discussion, it was determined that he was not. He was sent back. And then an outside delivery from Hollings' house at the time. Allowed him to walk anyways. Rollins looking for his first strike. Unable to deliver it there. Some confusion on what the count is, I believe. The scoreboard is being adjusted. Count now at 3-0. Miller takes a hack, getting nothing, bringing us to full count. Rollins looking for his third strikeout in just 5 batters faced. Miller trying to reach base for the third straight time. And a call that is decisive as it comes. It's a walk for Miller, with both sides letting out cheers and frustrations alike. So Miller to first. First one for either team to reach base all 3 times today. Easton Davies now due up. Davies struck out his first at-bat, was hit by the pitch in the second after battling with Bennett at the time. Or actually, it was still Hollings' house at the moment. Pickoff attempt unsuccessful to first. Still 2 outs for Davies. He's having a phenomenal day on the mound. Looked to put his first ball in play at the bats. One oh the count. Rollins. Delivers a strike. Davies. That's ball 2 pass. There is some action in the bullpen for the Tigers at the moment. Got to imagine Davies will come back out on the mound when we turn things over to the 5th. Fouling that ball back will bring the count to 2-2 for Davies. Going down swinging is Davies for the second time today. Cooper Rollins gets him to bite. Rollins got him the second time. Hollings' house the first. Either way, the pitcher will be forced to head back out to the mound as Maple Mountain heads in. We'll see if the Golden Eagles can claw their way back into this game with the Tigers. They currently trail 4-7 at UCCU Ballpark. Due up for the Golden Eagles will be Cooper Siemens, Caleb Chandler, and Sawyer Leifson. Second game of the day here at UCCU Ballpark. Our second elimination game as well. The loser of this one have their season ended. Grounding chopper directed to Humphreys, who gets it to first. Siemens is retired. Going to bring up Caleb Chandler. Chandler struck out in his first appearance, walked in the second. Start of the 5th. A reminder, our next game between Olympus and Wasatch should be getting underway about 30 to 40 minutes after the conclusion of this one. With this one, a high probability it'll go the distance, so might not see Olympus and Wasatch tee up. First pitch for that one may not be until 6, possibly even later, depending on how the rest of this game plays out. Davies walks Chandler, which will bring up Sawyer Leifson, who also has a strikeout and a walk on the day. In fact, Chandler, Leifson, and Rollins, all of whom will be due up now, all struck out their first at-bat, walked in the second. It's a kind of strange outing it's been for Davies, who's been strong for most of it, but was hit a few times and walked multiple batters in the 4th. Orem, despite scoring 7 runs, has just 2 hits to their name. One out and one runner on. It's the first strike delivered by Davies. Davies has now pitched over 90 deliveries on the day. One, two, the count for Davies. He's looking for his 8th strikeout. This ball will be fouled off by Leifson, who's trying to stay alive. One, two, the count. That ball's fouled off. Davies, pickoff attempt to first, unsuccessful. Pickoff attempt. Once again falters. Davies trying to secure the second out of the inning. That ball passes by. Going to be an opportunity at second. Can the throw get there in time? It will off a bounce. So the stolen base for Chandler. His grounder drilled to Bishop, who makes the play. But it advances Chandler to third. Bring up Cooper Rollins, who once again struck out first at bat, walked in the second. Golden Eagles trying to pull within 2 runs. Count goes to 1-1. Rollins sends it right to center fielder, Ollie Takashi. Takashi gets his team out of it with the grab. So Tigers look to extend their 7-4 lead when we return back here at UCCU Field. While we have an opportunity, I want to talk to you a little bit more about the earlier thriller we had. As Salem Hills, the 12th seed, took on the 3 seed Jordan. Early it was all Jordan. They scored 10 runs, 5 in each of the first 2 innings combined. Salem Hills would add 3 runs over the course of the second and third inning, as Maddox Lamorex is going to be due up. But it was that top of the 4th for the Skyhawks where everything came together. They scored 7 runs, allowing them to tie the game. They would add 1 more in the 5th. But 2 more runs by Jordan in the 7th, one of those being Spencer Van. He drove in 5 runs on the day, one of those coming off a grand slam. 2 more runs by Jordan. Tied things up at 12 in our contest. As this one sails into foul territory, making an effort on it, was Averett in right field. But 2 huge runs by Salem Hills in the top of the 10th inning, as we had to head into extras, ended up giving them the 14-12 win. 1-2 the count. Rollins retires Lamorix for the second time today. He'll go down swinging. That'll bring up Ollie Takashi, who drove in a run in his previous at-bat. Takashi. Lets the first ball pass. This one lifted high and going to be unplayable. Good effort by Cooper Siemens from first. But he was unable to get the grab as it was lifted out of the park. Line drive will break through. Get up to center field. So Takashi with his second base hit of the day as he settles on first. Bring up the top of the batting order for the Orem Tigers. Luke Kimmel now due up. Luke Kimmel walked in his previous plate appearance. Before that, was retired on a grounder to first and was hit by a pitch. Just one out in the bottom of the fifth. Strike delivered. And Kimmel lets pass. Count now at 2-1. Three and one the count goes. Rollins looking to get the second out of the inning. Won't come on the low pitch. Kimmel walks to first. Back-to-back walks for one of the Tigers pitchers. Now Cameron Humphreys, the third baseman. Reached base in his first two at-bats before being retired in the most recent. Hit by a pitch and a walk the way he did it. Humphreys awaits the delivery. Pickoff attempt at second. Was not delivered by Rollins, but he did stare him down. Taking a practice swing is Humphreys. So step back in to face Rollins. Tigers still holding a 7-4 lead. Bunt attempt fails. Rollins delivers. Humphreys once again showed bunt, but pulled back in time. 1-1 the count. Coach Hermanson Makes his calls to his guys on the base paths. Those guys being Kimmel and Takashi. This chopper sails foul. One, two, the count. Humphreys fouls it off his bat. So we'll remain at 2-1. Check that, 1-2. Still just 7 combined hits. The Tigers, of course, with 7 runs. They only have 3. Eagles with 4 hits and 4 runs. 1 error of the game. Charge to the Tigers. Two the count. Like the at-bat for Humphreys. Will end there. Strikeout. Rollins retires him. It's his 5th strikeout for Rollins since being inserted. Look to keep up the magic versus his first strikeout. That was the one that ended things all the way back in the 3rd inning when he retired Slade. Slade, 2 base appearances on the day. He'll let ball 1 pass. Rollins delivers the next pitch slightly high. Reminder, our 3rd game of the day, Olympus versus Wasatch. Got underway about 30 to 40 minutes after the conclusion of this game. So I'd say about a 6:30 start time we could be looking at as this one very well may not get over until 6. Jordan was eliminated earlier by Salem Hills. We'll see who will be eliminated in this contest. But at the moment, with 2 outs, the Tigers have loaded the bases. Gonna have a pinch runner come on. Once again, it'll be Zach Engelman. So Egerman to first. First, we're going to have a meeting on the mound take place as Coach Thomas makes his way out. Kimmel is on second. Takashi's at third. Coach Hermanson is talking things over with Cohen Strickland, who will be due up. Strickland has 1 base hit on the afternoon. Lined 1 into left field in his second at-bat. His first one was a strikeout, his most recent plate appearance. Lifted 1 into left field. So it had been Rollins at the mound. It looks like Rollins may be returning to the field again. Looks like it will be a pitching change. We'll see who the new pitcher is when we return. You're watching KSL Game Night Live Rewind. Strickland with 2 outs and the bases loaded. Smacks one deep, and it's out of here. Strickland with the grand slam. It's an 11-4 lead after the huge shot from Strickland, who smashed it out of UCCU ballpark. He'll come across home, emphatically stomping it. Awaits the jacket of white leopard print that is placed on him, along with the cowboy hat, as the bullpen greets Strickland, the first baseman, with our second grand slam of the day, if you can believe it. So Bennett Averett rocked early. We'll see how he responds. Base is now clear. Still 2 outs. Our now 11-4 game. Averett, 1-1 the count. Alex Hansen hasn't reached base since the second inning. His previous at-bat was a strikeout. Before that, had the bunt that landed him on first. 2-1 the count. Hansen be able to walk to first. So after Hansen's walk, Miller will now be due back up. So a combined 10 runs scored in the bottom of the third and the bottom of the fifth for the Tigers. Averett once again starts it off with a ball. Count now at 1-1. Strike delivery. Miller skies it. Looks to be an easy out. Calling for it is Mike Bennett, who secures it. So the Tigers, with 4 runs in the bottom of the fifth, all brought in from Cohen Strickland's grand slam. It's an 11-4 game. We move into the 6th. You're watching KSL Game Night Live Rewind. And Fisher Robinson, who takes over as the Tigers look to maintain their large margin of victory. So Easton Davies' day is done. Davies had a strong outing. That included 7 strikeouts in total. 6 of those captured through the first 9 batters of the Golden Eagles order. So we'll now come in and see what Fisher Robertson has. First, it'll be Corbin Bailey, the last batter of the Golden Eagles batting order. Then Mike Bennett and Jackson Hollingshouse in the hole. the Golden Eagles. Down to their last few outs. They have 6 lives left for their season. They'll need to get the bats hot if they want to extend it against Robinson. Bailey now at 0-2 in the count. One, two after the ball delivery. Bailey looking for his first strikeout. Instead, it'll be a base hit that just passes the diving Lemix. As Bailey reaches first, his first base appearance of the day. Bring up Mike Bennett. Bennett had the strikeout in his first plate appearance. Then hit Davies when he drilled one right off his leg. Also sent one into right field the last time we saw him. This one smashed into left field, but making the grab on it was Hansen, who retires Bennett. Jackson Hollingshouse now in center field after being on the mound to start things off. So Bailey settled on first. Robinson delivers another ball. 2-0 the count. Pickoff attempt. Unsuccessful. The ball escapes Strickland. Quick meeting on the mound to talk strategy as Slade made his first trip with Robinson on the mound. Up to it. 2-0 the count, top of the 6th. Count now to 3-0. Make it 3-1 after the strike delivery. We'll see if Fisher Robinson can deliver a strike to bring it to full. Instead, it's a low ball. So Hollinghouse with the walk. Coach Hermanson going to walk over and talk things over with Robinson. No action going for the Tigers in their bullpen, so they're trying to rod with Robinson through what would be, they hope, the final 5 outs to close out this game. So Bailey to second. Hollingshouse to first. Dax Dewitt, the catcher, now due up. Dewitt walked in his first plate appearance, then drove in the first run of the day. Sending one into center field. Then Dewitt on a phenomenal catch. Made by Lemorx was retired. This one's fouled over. One out, 0-1 the count. After it was fouled off. Robinson turns, pickoff attempt, unsuccessful. Especially as Bishop wasn't even on the bag. Do it. That's the first ball pass, bringing the count to 0-1. 1-1. Two and one the count after the outside delivery. Robinson turns, delivers. This one lifted into center. Should be an easy out. And it will be. Takashi makes the grab, but able to tag up and reach third was Bailey. Bring up Bennett Averett, former right fielder who's now a pitcher. Averett struck out in his first at-bat to end the first, and his third at-bat to end the fourth. He also flew out into left field. He looked to reach base for the first time today. First pitch is fouled off. One and one, the count. Runners on first and third for Maple Mountain. We'll see if Hollingshouse tries to steal second. Could be a risky move, as if he was thrown out, would end the inning. But in the attempted pickoff, could allow Bailey to score. Two balls, two strikes, two outs here with Fisher Robinson. Bringing us to full count off a low delivery. Robinson in danger of loading the bases, but with a well-placed pitch, can get his team out of it. Forces Averett to swing at it as the fellow pitcher looks to make a play for his team. We'll do the full count pitch once again. Robinson to Averett. And that one sails high and is going to bring in a run. So base is not loaded off the high pitch, but a run able to come in. Robinson completely lost control of it. So 5-11 our score now. Runners on first and second. Averett at first, Hollingshouse to second. With Cooper Siemens due up. Siemens reached base in his first plate appearance. Sending one into left field. Cut a walk in his second at bat. This one's drilled. Going back. He'll take a bounce. Stay in the park. That's going to bring in at least 2 runs for Maple Mountain. So life for the Golden Eagles. It's now a 7-11 game. That brings in both Hollingshouse and Averett. So Siemens with his biggest hit of the day. Also end the day for Fisher Robinson. So as Robinson exits the mound, we'll step away and look to see who Coach Hermanson is called on to take his place. You're watching KSL Game Night Live Rewind. Fisher Robinson out, Cooper Bishop in. With 2 outs in the inning, the Tigers just 4 outs away from sealing this one up, giving themselves an opportunity to advance, to take on the loser of our nightcap, which will be Lehigh versus Bountiful. Bishop was at second for the majority of the game, but will now take over. So Gray Sundberg now at second. Caleb Chandler walked in his previous 2 plate appearances. The 1 runner on second in Siemens. Eagles have scored 7 runs on 6 hits. The Tigers 11 runs on 4 hits. That one's fouled into the net. Golden Eagles showing some life in this 3rd inning. Scored 3 runs. That ball by Siemens was nearly a homer. Almost took a hop after it landed in the park over the fence, but instead stayed just in barely. It was nearly a ground rule double, which would have been better for the Tigers, as it would have prevented Averett from scoring, but he was able to make it from first all the way to home. Advantage of there being 2 outs as you're moving on contact. 1-2 the count here. Bishop, 1 strike away from getting his team out of it. Outside delivery will make it 2-2. Bishop sets, winds, delivers, gets him. Chandler strikes out for the 2nd time today as he goes out swinging. Cooper Bishop with some big-time pitching will move us into the bottom of the 6th. You're watching KSL Game Night Live. Due up for the Tigers. It's going to be Greg Sundberg batting in place of Owen Miller. Sundberg's first plate appearance today. Averett delivers. And it's a ball driven that looked like it was going to be caught by Bailey. He's unable to make the catch. So reaching first is Sunder. So Gray Sunder was actually hitting for Easton Davies. Now be up Maddox Lamorix. So Sundberg able to reach first. Lamorix goes to 0-1 on the count after fouling it off. Waits the delivery from Averett. Pulls in, shows bunt. Tries to bunt. Sent it off his foot. So he's going to come back and we'll do it again. Count going to 0-2 now. So they'll try to advance. Sundberg. Pickoff attempt, unsuccessful. Works. One, two, the count. Averett looking for his first strikeout since being inserted. Instead, it's a fly ball sent to right field. Retiring Lamorks. First out of the inning. Bring up Ollie Takashi. Takashi had a hot bat today after grounding out to second. Since then, he's drove one into left field in both of his at-bats. Look to make contact off Averett with just one out in the inning. And Sundberg still settled on first. Takashi bites on the first pitch. A reminder, our next game, Olympus versus Wasatch, will be coming up here about 30 to 40 minutes after this one concludes at UCCU Ballpark. Takashi will have to wait a moment as Dewitt makes his way to Averett. They'll talk strategy with a 1-1 count. And an out in the inning. It was 4-11 the score entering the sixth, but 3 runs gives life to the Golden Eagles. Got to make sure they don't give up any more runs to the Tigers. Only 1 out in this one. They get Takashi to bite. 1-2 the count. This ball sails sky high. Back to Leifson, who makes the grab. So back-to-back balls hit to Leifson. Bring up Luke Kimmel for the 5th time today. Kimmel, 2 walks in his previous plate appearances. He's yet to have to put the ball in play. The lone time he did, he was retired, but has reached safe, has reached base by being hit by a pitch and the 2 walks. Now 2 outs. Strike 1 delivered. Kimmel awaits for Averett, who will instead go for a pickoff attempt. Ball's fouled off by Kimmel. Falls to 0-2 in the count. Averett now 1 pitch away from leaving the Tigers stranded on base and giving his team the opportunity to get back into it in the top of the 7th. Kimmel is able to watch the outside ball pass. Bring the count to 1-2. Averett delivers a second consecutive pitch low. So we sit with 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs in our inning. In the bottom of the 6th. Kimmel sends one, foul. Kimmel. Another pitch to the outside, full count. Bennett Averett still looking for his first strikeout. Could he get it here to end the 6th? Kimmel lifts it. And losing it was left fielder Caleb Chandler. It looked like Chandler had it, but just stopped as it looked like there was confusion on who called for it, who had it. Either way, that'll cost Maple Mountain another Orem run. They now take a 12-7 lead. So 5-1 the lead. As it's a double for Kimmel. But Cam Humphreys due back up. Humphreys waits the delivery. Takes a hack, gets nothing on the first one. Oh, 1 the count. Humphreys looking to add to the run total of the inning. Bennett Averett trying to keep the magical run going for Maple Mountain. Trying to limit the damage to just 1 run in the bottom of the 6th. He'll deliver. An outside ball. 3-1 our count. Twelve runs, the most the Tigers have scored in almost a month of action. Actually is officially over a month of action. Is this grounded? Fielded by Bailey. Gets it over to first in time. But a run scored by the Tigers extends the lead, so 12-7. We sit as we enter the 7th. We'll see if Maple Mountain has anything left in them. Rests at the bats of Sawyer Leifson, Cooper Rollins, and Corbin Bailey, the back 3 of the batting order. Cooper Bishop still the man on the mound for the Tigers. So we're set to get the 7th underway here at UCCU Ballpark. JT Wistersill, appreciate all of you who have tuned in today. The loser will be eliminated. The winner will go on to play in our 1:30 game tomorrow, and they'll take on the loser of tonight's nightcap, Lehigh versus Bountiful. One-0 the count. Now 1-1. Bishop got a strikeout on Caleb Chandler to end the top of the sixth. Chopper hit to Lamorix. Can he get it to first in time? He will. 2 more outs to go for Orem. That'll bring up Cooper Rollins. Had a stretch where he was a pitcher for a little bit, as much of the infield of Maple Mountain. It's an incredible run by the 22 seed in the 2022 UHSAA baseball tournament. Falling to 0-2 in the count is Rollins. Struck out in his first plate appearance today. Walked in the second. Flew out in the center. Rollins fouls it off to stay alive. Chopper hit to Lamorix off the ground, who once again connects with Strickland to get the out. Corbin Bailey needing to land on base if he wants to keep Maple Mountain alive. Golden Eagles now down to their final out. Bailey had a base hit the last time we saw him, lifting one into left field. He was one of the 2 runs that were brought in the 6th inning by Cooper Siemens. Outside delivery. Bishop wastes no time. He'll step in and fire another in. And 4 straight balls were delivered. Allowing Bailey to walk to first. The first walk he's had today. Bring up Mike Bennett for the 5th time today. Bennett flew out into left field the last time he appeared at the plate. Before that, reached base after 7-1 into right field. 0-1 the count. Cooper Bishop delivers another strike. He's ahead in the count 2-0. Tigers 1 strike away from advancing. Chopped. Lamorix. Will he try to take the He will not. So a mistake on Lamorix's part. Had the force out at second. Instead, tried to get it over to first in time, and he's unable to do so. And because of that, Bailey reaches third. Got to imagine Lamorix wishes he could have that one back, and instead just go to Sundberg, who came over to cover second. So Jackson Hollinghouse back up. Bishop sends ball 1 in to the outside. One our count. Bishop, who wastes no time. As soon as the batter's set, he's delivering the pitch. Hollingshouse, 2-1 in the count, who got the start on the mound. Chops one. That will go foul. So our 2-2 count in our 2-out game with 2 runners on. Third is Bailey. Bennett at first. Cooper Bishop, the second baseman. Looking to get his team out of it. Outside delivery will bring us to full count. Bishop looking for his second strikeout. Can he close the deal for the Tigers here? He will not. Instead, he'll load the bases. So Maple Mountain once again with life. So Hollingshouse with his third walk of the day. Bring up Dax Dewitt. Dewitt flew out to center field. Before that, had a line drive that he was retired to Lamorix at shortstop. Brought in a run back in the third inning for his team. We'll see if he can bring in some more. With the bases loaded. Strike one passes him by. Do it. That's the outside ball. Bring the count to 1-1. Bishop trying not to walk in a run. Bishop. Now went just to the outside for ball 3. One more ball and he'll walk in a run. See if Cooper Bishop's able to find the strike zone here. Fouled off to the right. Full count. Maple Mountain season on the line. With their catcher, Dax Dewitt, staring down Cooper Bishop. Dewitt, he'll step in. Await the delivery. Bishop winds, delivers. This one sent, but caught! What a play by Maddox Lamorix, who ends it for the Tigers. He slams the door shut on a Maple Mountain comeback and ends the run for the Cinderella. 12-17, gonna be our final after that play. Man, if Lamorix couldn't have made that, 2 runs at least would have scored for Maple Mountain. Instead, they're retired on the season as they fall 12-7. So the 9th-seeded Orem Tigers eliminate the 22 seed, the Maple Mountain Golden Eagles, from the tournament. Orem moves on. They will face the loser of tonight's scheduled for 7 o'clock game. It's not going to be at 7. It'll be closer to 8 or 9. Lehigh versus Bountiful, the 2 versus 10 matchup. A reminder, our Wasatch versus Olympus game, the 13 and 14 seeds about to play. Expect that one to come up around 6:30, 6:40 here at UCCU Ballpark. We thank you for watching what's been an incredible game for the Tigers. Got to look back to the grand slam that Cohen Strickland had as one of the huge plays in the bottom of the 5th. The bottom of the 3rd, they also scored 6 runs. Those and a couple other added on led to the 12-17 win. Your final here at Utah Valley University as the Orem Tigers defeat Maple Mountain to move on. We thank you for watching KSL Game Night Live Rewind.